Hello everyone, this is darshanmaharaja welcoming you to the 17th episode of the Elevator Chat series for our Canadian journey. In the past 3 weeks or so, one positive development has been that the taboo against suggesting that we may want to lower our intake of immigrants has been broken. Here I use the term immigration to include temporary foreign workers and international student visas as well as refugee permits. If I may, yours truly may have played a role, however tiny, in the breaking of this taboo. You may have seen the video on my YouTube channel where I posed the question to Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre. If you haven't, I encourage you to check it out. And while you are there, please subscribe to my channel. I intend to post videos there regularly, perhaps once a week. This positive development notwithstanding, several influential entities or people are still holding forth. The dogmatic belief that immigration can only be a good thing for Canada, regardless of the prevailing circumstances. Apparently, they haven't heard the saying that there can be too much of a good thing. The newly minted immigration minister, Mark Miller, came at the issue with all guns blazing right out of the gate, saying that the existing level of immigration will not only be maintained but may even be increased. Resorting to the entrenched tropes in the matter of immigration, he insinuated that anyone who wants immigration to be reduced is a racist. Then, Financial Post carried an article by David Rosenberg in which the author makes the absolutely ridiculous proposition that increasing immigration from its current levels could make housing more affordable. Of course, in the long run. As my economics professor used to say, in the long run, we are all dead. The really disconcerting thing about this article is that in it, the author acknowledges the dire situation that housing affordability is in, stemming from the lack of housing availability. For example, he mentions that according to Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation, CMHC, Canada needs an additional 3.5 million homes by 2030 to restore housing affordability. But right in the next paragraph, he states that lamenting the excess demand effects on housing, which demand results from the record levels of immigration that have boosted population growth to 2% at an annual rate, it amounts to, quote, going down a rabbit hole, end quote. I have posted the link to this article in the description below. So how do we increase housing availability and affordability? According to the author, it's quite simple. Just find ways to boost national income. Gee, I wonder why nobody thought of that before Mr. Rosenberg got this spark of inspiration. The fact is that over the last little while, our economy has stagnated on a per capita basis once you account for inflation. In other words, all the historic increase in our population hasn't taken us an inch forward financially on an individual basis. What is worse, as forecast by OECD, Canada is going to be dead last in economic growth for the next decade or two. At this point, one has to wonder, could it be because we increased our population recklessly? One thing that has bothered me for a long time on the immigration issue is this. For all the incessant talk about the alleged labor shortages that we keep hearing from politicians, pundits and the commentariat, nobody has delved into the possibility of addressing these shortages via automation or technology in general. In my view, this is going to be what causes our undoing as a prosperous nation. At a time when real economic growth stems from technological advances and innovation, We are still stuck in the 19th century paradigm of having a bigger labor force to increase output. By the way, this last gem of an observation is courtesy of a friend on Twitter. As I have stated earlier, some 15 or 20 years ago, no speech or statement by a politician could be complete without making a reference to jobs of the 21st century. Fast forward to 2023 and the official policy is to bring people over from other countries to work minimum wage jobs that existed not just in the previous century but also in several centuries before that. With a voluntarily blindfolded government and an intellectually bereft panditocracy, meaningful reform of our immigration policy is impossible. One hopes that a change in government will be accompanied by a change in this retrograde outlook. I believe in being optimistic, so I will continue remaining hopeful that this change will happen at some point. The only question is how much damage will have been inflicted on Canada, on Canadians, and on all the people that we are bringing over to serve an obsolete way of thinking. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments. I will await your feedback. Until we meet again, goodbye and be well.